Full time here at Anfield. Liverpool 2, Manchester City 0. You guys might be wondering why I'm wearing black today. In fact, if I can show you guys my full outfit right now, I'm wearing all black. I'm wearing all black today. What do we wear all black to, chat? We wear black to funerals. Who's died today? Manchester City's title hopes today have died. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to Manchester City's title charge on the date of December 1st, 2024. It's over. It's over. Khalas. C'est fini. Finito. Terminado. I don't know. What other words do you want me to throw at you guys? It's done. I told you guys a few weeks ago, if this league lets Manchester City win the Premier League this season, in the form that they're in, the shape that they're in, the Prem is washed. The Prem is washed if Man City in their current shape are able to win the Prem. And people said to me, nah, you're falling for it again, Lies. You're being, don't come chasing back at the end of the season when we win another one. This is what City do every single year. Guys, at the end of the day, trust your eyes. This Man City team haven't been right for weeks, even before they went on this winless run. Even before this, they were being peppered by teams. This City team are not winning the league this year. I know there's been people who are too afraid to say on a video. They're too afraid to come out and specifically say it because they're afraid that Man City are going to scorn them like they always do. Pep is holding up 6 trophies to his fans. 6 fingers for 6 trophies. Pep Guardiola has lost his mind. He's in his Jose Mourinho bag. I've seen Jose Mourinho do this to his fans so many times when he's on the cusp of disaster. This is what psychopaths do. What Pep is doing right now. I love it though. I love it. I love it. But it's over. I'm sorry guys, it's over. This is not me being like bitter or like trying to laugh at. It's over. It's done. Even the most conscious Manchester City fan, even the most like biased Man City fans, it's done. You're not winning it this year. You're not strong enough. 7 games without a win for Man City. 7. Pep's holding 6. 7 games without a win. 7. How about that, Pep? 6 leagues, 7 games without a win. It's over. What we just got finished watching today, is a team that all season long have been absolutely irresistible. Irresistible. Versus a team that look absolutely toothless. Where do we start right now, chat? Do we start with City or do we start with Liverpool? City first. Yeah, let's start with City. Pep Guardiola, welcome to the Arne Slot Penitentiary. Someone load up the Arne Slot Penitentiary video for me now, bro. You know this is the greatest video of all time. You know this video is the greatest video of all time. It's the video of the season. Pep Guardiola, welcome to the Arne Slot Penitentiary. He went with the same team effectively that he played against Feyenoord. Basically the same team he played against Spurs. I said the same team, right? There's different players. Stones played against Spurs. Gvardiol played against Spurs. But for the most part, okay, Diaz came in today. Ake came in today. And I actually thought both of them were pretty good today. I thought Ake and Diaz were 2 of City's better players. But it's the same system that, for the most part, has led to all of these losses for City. They go 4-4-2 out of possession. Foden and Haaland up front. Nunes on the left. Who is it? Bernardo? No, it wasn't even Bernardo on the right today. Rico Lewis was playing on the right. Bernardo and Gundogan in the middle. That's how they play out of possession. In possession, they go 3 center backs. They go Bernardo and Akanji deep. And then they play almost like a 4. That's the way they've been playing this whole time. But they don't have the legs in midfield anymore to actually play this way. Today, Man City got blitzed by Liverpool, for lack of a better term. That first half could have genuinely been 4-0. On set pieces, they're getting dominated physically. In transition, they're getting dominated physically. Going forward, they're getting locked up physically. Physically is the key word. You've gone from a team in City that just a few years ago when they won the treble were such a physical presence in the form of Rodri, Diaz, Gvardiol wasn't there, Ake, Akanji, Haaland, to a team now, no disrespect to any of these guys, right? But Rico Lewis, Mateus Nunes, Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan, and the current versions of Gundogan and Bernardo Silva, they're weak, they're small, they're good players, they're good technical footballers. But when you put them up against the likes of Gravenberch, the likes of Van Dijk, the likes of Salah, Diaz, and Gakpo, Szoboszlai, they got outran today. They got outmuscled, outran, outthought, and that's why it's over, man. That's why it's over. Look, injuries is a big thing, but lack of proper squad replenishment from City and the ownership above is a huge reason to this collapse. A huge reason. However, Today, I want to talk about two players because even in the worst system, even in times where your team is failing, injuries around you, you always look towards your best players to be the difference makers. Dig us out of a hole. Conjure up a moment of magic. Inspire us. Lead us. I'm looking at two players today that, for me, have completely underwhelmed. Completely. Phil Foden and Erling Haaland. I'm going to start with Erling Haaland. We know Erling Haaland is amongst, if not the greatest goal scorer that this Premier League has ever seen. The numbers, the ruthlessness in front of goal, the running in transition. When he is on his game, when he's provided bullets, my God, what a destructive force of nature. How do you stop the guy? But in games like today, where the service isn't always there, when there isn't space in behind to run into, as a center forward, what are you offering? How are you helping your team win? Because I always tell you guys, I'm very consistent with this. It's not GA at the be all end all for me. How do you help your team win? What did Erling Haaland do today to help Manchester City win? What value did Erling Haaland provide to Manchester City to help them win? I'll wait. What's the value in which he brought his team today? Doesn't get on the ball ever. And when he does, his touch is sloppy. It's loose at times. He's not physically occupying center backs. He's not really occupying entire back fours. He's not winning his aerial duels. He's not holding up the ball and getting players into play. Today, Erling Haaland has been pocketed by Virgil van Dijk. Pocketed. Van Dijk is the best center back in the world. I get it. But I've seen center backs give Van Dijk more of an issue than Erling Haaland did today. And this is why I continue to say, and I don't care how many times people call me up on this, I maintain this point for as long as I live. The best goal scorer in world football. The best goal scorer I think the Premier League has ever seen. But in terms of actually being a footballer, the best footballer in the world, please do not ever bring Erling Haaland to this conversation for me. I'm sorry, he's not at the level of other center forwards in terms of general play. And you might say general play. If my guy scores me 50 goals this season, who cares? I hear that. But what are you bringing to the table when you aren't scoring? With Erling Haaland, I'm sorry, there's way too many games that you don't see enough from him. You don't. And I've said it time and time again. I feel for him at times because Pep's system doesn't utilize Haaland's strengths to the best of his abilities. His best strength is running in behind, transition running, finishing chances. I get that. Under Pep, he's never going to play for a team that constantly runs through on goal. But surely at some point, your game has to evolve so that even when you're not in the most ideal situation for your skill set, you can still impact games. That's not unrealistic for me to say. That's just holding a top player to top standards. For Erling Haaland, these games aren't good enough. You can't be considered the best player in the world and have games like this against the top center halves as often as Erling Haaland does. Today, I'm massively concerned. That's a horrible performance from Haaland. And then the other guy, Phil Foden, his running mate, his second in command. Let's open up the conversation. I'm severely concerned with Phil Foden. I'm severely concerned. I don't like this revision that last season Phil Foden didn't deserve the PFA Player of the Year. Although for me, my vote, I consistently say, would have gone to Rodri. But I don't like this revision that Foden should never have even been like a candidate or a huge option for Player of the Year. He had a terrific season last year. But Phil Foden is 24 years old right now. 24 years old. Turning how old? When does Foden turn 25? Foden turns 25 at the end of the season, basically. At this point, he is considered a senior player at Manchester City. He's one of the most experienced players in that squad. He's one of the most, in terms of like status, he's won so much. He's played in big games. He's been there for years. He knows Pep's system more than most. You're supposed to be at this stage of your career under Pep, one of the main guys. One of the guys that no matter what the form is saying, you can rely on Phil Foden. This season has been an abomination from Phil Foden. To go from Player of the Year form, which I do believe he was a worthy winner of last season, to falling off this badly this year, that's not what the top players do. That's not what the elite of the elite do. It's not about getting to the top that's the hardest thing. It's about staying at the top, staying consistent, maintaining the levels. Phil Foden has put in a season like last year just to fall down as badly as he has this year. It's a massive disappointment. Today I've watched Foden. I've kept a close eye on him. He doesn't want the ball. He's asking for the ball in between. I understand Foden's role. He wants to pick up the ball in between the lines. He wants to pick up the ball in dangerous positions. First of all, it's very difficult for your teammates to find you there. That's a difficult pass to find. Sometimes you have to drop deeper, pick up the ball, and make things happen. Sometimes you have to drop into space, pick up the ball, and make things happen. You can't always ask for the ball with two players surrounding you. And secondly, every time I saw Foden pick up the ball today, it's just a short yard pass to the left, short yard pass to the right, 5-yard pass backwards, 5-yard pass to Rico Lewis, 5-yard pass to Mateus Nunes. How is that impacting the game, Foden? How? You're supposed to be the creator-in-chief on this team. You're supposed to be the guy that the team looks to unlock defenses. Am I wrong? If not, why are you on the pitch? Just to pick up the ball on the edge of the box and fire one top corner. If that's the case, you're not as good a player as I thought you were. You're in this team surrounded by Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, Mateus Nunes, Rico Lewis, Haaland. None of those guys are chance creators, or they're not supposed to be. No. You're there to pick up the ball and make things happen. That's your role in this City team. Unlock the defense, play make, create actions. I don't think he created one thing today. Genuinely. He came off the pitch today, and I think anyone would be forgiven for even forgetting that he was even there to begin with. So for me, Phil Foden and Erling Haaland as Manchester City's two best players, absolutely awful performances. In a game that you had to stay in. This game is the biggest of Man City's season because you go 11 points behind, your season's done. The league campaign, it's done. Get something out of it, a draw, dare I say even a win, and you still have something to hold on to. You still have something to salvage onto. And in a moment where they needed their two guys to lead them, lead the way, carry the troops to glory, nowhere to be seen. Kevin De Bruyne is cooked at this point, right? Physically, he can't compete week in, week out, 90 minutes. He came onto the pitch for 10 minutes and he did more than Phil Foden. 10 minutes. I get Kevin De Bruyne is a bigger talent than Phil Foden, but he's also about 9 years older than him. For me, just extremely disappointing, man. Just disappointing. And from City, honestly, there's a few good performances today. I thought Diaz actually played a good game before the penalty that I think he has to hold his hands up there. I think he should do better there. Ortega kept City in that game. Ake, for me, did as good a job as he could. Bernardo Silva, I didn't think was his worst game ever. I think it was better for his recent standards. But the rest of them, man, that midfield, it's finished. That midfield needs severe recruitment in the summer. Severe. And this Mateus Nunes experiment at left wing, how it took Pep 56 minutes to take that brother off was beyond me. Watching him against Trent, who for all extents and purposes has improved defensively this year, but looked like prime Kyle Walker. He looked like Wan-Bissaka against Mateus Nunes today. Nunes couldn't get past him one single time. It's just too many players that have lowered the standard of Manchester City Football Club, in my opinion. They've lowered the standard. Yes, due to injuries, but also down to poor recruitment, man. Poor recruitment. And then I look at Pep. Pep looks like he's lost his whole mind. I'm not even going to bother commenting on that episode that he had in the press conference last game where he's scratching himself. He's cut his nose. The stress is building up on that guy. But today, look, it's a nice moment for the cameras holding up the 6. Don't forget who I am. I literally turned your league into a laughing stock. But that doesn't happen unless you have severely lost the plot. That's what Jose used to do in his final days at Man United. In his final days at Chelsea, when he goes to the press after and he's like, 3 for me, 2 for the rest of the managers. Respect, man. Respect. That's what Jose did weeks before he was about to get fired. Now, I don't think Pep is going to get fired anytime soon. He's got way too much credit in the bank. And look, you just got a new contract. I'm not suggesting fire Pep here. But bro, 7 games without a win. Does anybody know where City's next win comes from? Forest at home next. Palace away. Juventus away. United at home. Villa away. How many wins are they getting in this run, guys? How many wins? On paper, you'd think they win all of them. On performance, boy, I think all 5 of these teams will give City a real go. They'll give City a real go. The way City is playing right now, any team can go to their ground and punish them, run them off the pitch, outfight them. It's scary for City right now. And the deeper conversation to have is this. 5th place. Man City are closer to Man United than they are to Liverpool. They have less goal difference than Man United. Yo, who would have predicted this, man? Who would have predicted this? City are in a top 4 race. Let's call it what it is. City are 1,000% in a top 4 race because the title is done. They will not make up 11 points on Liverpool. I'll bet anything you want. They will not make up 11 points on Liverpool. It's impossible. They're not good enough. They're not consistent enough. They're not getting enough players back. They don't have enough depth to make up the ground on Liverpool, while Liverpool also drop 11 points. It's not happening. It's over. I don't care what City have done in the last 5 years. This City team is not a regular City team. It's not. Stop holding them to the same standard that you would have the last 5 editions. It's impossible. Now let's go to the team that actually deserves massive praise. Liverpool Football Club. I mean, where do you start? The train just keeps on going, man. The train just keeps on going. The toughest part of Liverpool's season, arguably, where everybody said this is where they'll really be judged. This is where they really have tough games. Against Arsenal, AC Milan, Bayer Leverkusen, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Manchester City. 7 wins. Or seven games unbeaten, excuse me. Did they pass the test? I think they passed with flying colors. That's practically all straight A's. Physics, A. Biology, A. Mathematics, A. English language, A. Geography, A. Geology, B+. That was Arsenal. B+. Chemistry, A. They've passed every single test thrown at them with flying colors. Who can stop them? Who can stop them right now, man? I think there's a few performances today that need to be highlighted. First of all, I think everybody on Liverpool today was fantastic. All of them were absolutely fantastic today. I want to give special shout outs before I get into the main guys for Joe Gomez, who I thought was remarkable today in Konate's absence. And by the way, Joe Gomez, whether it's as a center back, it's as a right back, it's as a deputy, it's as a left back, no matter what role he's asked to fulfill, Joe Gomez consistently comes on and puts in a shift. And one thing I keep saying with Joe Gomez that's very, very underrated is his ability to play out the back. He's so calm in his decision-making. Honestly, he knows when to carry it out from the back. He knows when to play. He knows when to play a diagonal. He's just an unbelievable backup to have. Seriously, Joe Gomez as your backup is such a good option to have. I want to give a shout out to him. I want to give a shout out to Dominik Szoboszlai, who I looked at the decision to drop Curtis Jones today as a bit puzzling because Jones against Real Madrid was absolutely sensational. But give credit to Szoboszlai. Today, played a very good performance. On the press, you can notice Liverpool, they press in a 4 up front. They almost go into a 4-2-4, and it becomes Gakpo, Diaz, Szoboszlai, Salah. Szoboszlai is a pressing machine. That guy doesn't get tired. That guy covers ground. And his passing, his crossing, his shooting, it was good today. I thought Szoboszlai played a really, really good game today. For a guy who's picked up a lot of criticism this year, I thought today was one of his better performances. Robertson, strong. Again, no mistakes in his game today. We've seen in the last few weeks, he's kind of appeared. He's emerged as a bit of a weak link at times for Liverpool. Today, terrific. Gakpo took his goal exceptionally well. Kelleher was called upon one single time today. He had one big save to make. The whole game, comfortable until the last 5 minutes. Van Dijk makes a little bit of a mistake. De Bruyne's through. Kelleher's there. This is how you win league titles, guys. You can't win league titles with only 11 players. You cannot win a league title with only 11 players. A squad wins a league, not 11 players. And when you have players like Kelleher, Gomez, Szoboszlai, Tsimikas, Gakpo, those guys who can come on any given day and contribute massively like this, that's what champions are made of. Connor Bradley, 1000%. But now let's talk about the main guys. Gravenberch. This isn't just anymore now a run of form. It's not anymore like a purple patch. It's not like you can say, oh, he's just in a really good moment, right? Gravenberch is just a top player. Gravenberch is a top player. Like a terrific, terrific player. Everything about the guy screams top level midfielder. If you can get Gravenberch, like this is the Gravenberch we get for the rest of his career, Gravenberch is an elite midfielder. He's elite. The way he wins the ball back, the way he dominates his duels, the way he's able to pick up the ball on the half turn and get play going, the way he can avoid pressure, the way he can drive forward, cover ground. He's an elite midfielder. If this is the Gravenberch that we're getting for the rest of his career, he's elite. He is elite. He has very, very few weaknesses in his game. Every game is just more and more and more impressive. The way he ate up Foden today. Honestly, anytime Foden got near him and tried to evade him through a dribble, Gravenberch is there. He's there. He eats that up. McAllister. There was actually some murmurs from people online that maybe McAllister is a weak link in this team and maybe that's where you need to... Are you guys serious? What games do you guys watch? Seriously. Send me a stream that I can watch myself. Maybe I'm watching a different game to you guys. This guy, McAllister, is a gem. He's a gem. He's a world champion. That's 2 potentially man-of-the-match performances against Real Madrid and Manchester City in the space of a week. Wonderful, wonderful football in the middle of the pitch. Today, his dummies, his guile, his passing, his creativity. Oh, it was on full display today, man. It was on full display. That's the kind of player, McAllister, that Manchester City used to poach before anybody else. This time around, Liverpool got there before them. And what a player he is. Wow, McAllister could improve Manchester City if they had him. What a player. For me, the man of the match, in my opinion, was Virgil van Dijk. I think Virgil van Dijk today was outstanding. He had one mistake at the end where he gets careless and he lets Kevin De Bruyne through on goal. And granted, he should have escaped this game of a goal. Van Dijk, off set pieces, 3 times should have scored a goal. 3 times he should have scored. And yet, even with all of that, exquisite. Exquisite, man. I'm telling you, after the game, man, he's going through his pockets. Lip balm, chewing gum, jewelry. Erling Haaland. He locked him up. Locked up the best center forward on the planet like it was nothing. And by the way, it's becoming a habit now. Van Dijk against Erling Haaland is a consistent mismatch. Haaland can't get the better out of him. Haaland can't outrun him. Haaland can't outjump him. He can't outpower him. He can't outthink him. Haaland can't cope with Van Dijk. Like, if Erling Haaland goes on to become known as like the greatest center forward of all time, we're going to remember Haaland as like, wow, elite player. But bro, Van Dijk was his kryptonite. He can't get past Van Dijk. Van Dijk's too big, too strong, too fast, too smart. You can't deal with him, man. The perfect prototype of center back, bro. Every other center back shits their pants against Erling Haaland. Not Van Dijk, man. Not Van Dijk. And then the main man. Should have finished with 2 goals today, huh? Salah today should have finished with 2 goals. That one-on-one chance that he missed, similar to the chance he missed against Real Madrid, for a second it had you thinking, is that the kind of chance that Liverpool could regret? Are they starting to play with their food a little bit? Are they taking their foot off the gas? Penalty spot. Doesn't make the same mistake twice. But I want to talk about the pass, honestly. First of all, that pass from Trent Alexander-Arnold, whose passing range was on full display today. Sublime. But that pass to Salah in open space, where Salah has... First of all, there's 2 sides to this story, right? Great attacking, awful defending. Let me talk on the City part first. The amount of space Mohamed Salah has to, first of all, run to the side and pick up the ball, where no one picks him up, and then to run at Akanji, where Akanji doesn't close him off, and then step into the penalty box and take like 3 touches without being closed down. That's awful defending. And that's the difference between City this year and City last year and City the year before. They don't take pride in defending anymore. But then you look at City, Salah on his side. You give players like Mohamed Salah that time and space to make their decisions and think about what they want to do. They are going to punish you with those kinds of actions time after time after time after time. Salah is one of the best players in the world. He's arguably on form, the best player in the world. And you give that guy that amount of space and time to pick out a pass like that, he's going to make it every single time. He's a top player. That pass, that vision, the execution, the bend. In football, we call that the corridor of uncertainty. For me, it's the pass that De Bruyne for the last 10 years has absolutely mastered because it's played at such speed, ground pass like that, in between goalkeeper and center back, where the goalkeeper can't come out, because if he does and he misses it, he's in no man's land. The center back can't reach out a leg, because it's being played at such pace that if he reaches out a leg, more often than not, it's going in his own net. And it's played so perfectly that if his opposing winger makes the correct run, it's an open goal tap-in back post. De Bruyne made an absolute career out of it, and he probably got Raheem Sterling paid so much money off mastering that pass to that run. Sterling must have scored so many goals off that pass. It made him a career. That pass right there that Salah played is the perfect pass. It's the perfect pass from the best player in the Premier League. What Salah is doing this year, this redemption arc, not even a redemption arc, it's like a revenge arc on everybody, especially on FSG. You don't want to pay me. You want to wait this long to give me a new contract. Look what I'm going to do. How on earth can you not give this guy a new contract? How on earth can you watch Mo Salah, Trent, and Van Dijk, the performances they put in today, on December 1st, and still not have these guys wrapped up with a new contract? How? What ownership on planet Earth would let these guys run out their contracts with a year left? It's bewildering. Sign them up! I'm not a Liverpool fan. I support Man United, and I'm screaming at FSG. If you guys are competent, you give all 3 of these guys new contracts. You go with these 3 guys, you ride with them till the wheels fall off. They've earned that respect, they've earned those contracts, and they've earned the right to call it a day when they call it a day. You don't give up on Van Dijk until he gives up on himself. You don't give up on Mo Salah until he gives up on himself. If you can't give a new contract to Mo Salah in the form that he's in, boy, no one deserves a new contract. No one. This is the best team in the league. They're the best team in the world. Simple as that. Simple as that. Stop them if you can. 9 points clear of Arsenal. What is it? 8 or 9 points clear of Arsenal. 9 points clear of Arsenal. Top of their Champions League group. Blitzing teams left, right, and center. Keeping teams defensively out. Scoring goals for fun. Salah's having the season of his life. Van Dijk is running it back to 2019. Who stops them, bro? Who can stop these guys? Mo Salah just said, this may be my last game against City at Anfield. So I decided I was just going to enjoy it. How on earth can you allow Mo Salah to speak like that? Liverpool fans, does that not sit well with me? Like, that doesn't, if I was a Liverpool fan, that wouldn't sit well with me. This guy along with Van Dijk, are not dragging, because the team is great, but they are leading your team to glory. They could win you the league this year, and FSG could look at all of you fans and say, yep, hope you enjoyed this league. We're going to try and win the league next year without our 2 best players. Liverpool, the streets should revolt if that happens. There should be a revolution on the streets of Merseyside if Van Dijk and Salah win the league for Liverpool and don't get extended. That's a spit in the face of the entire fan base. Arguably the 2 best players in the league, and you're potentially letting them go for free because you're afraid that they might be coming towards the end. That's unbelievable to me. That is unbelievable to me. I said it on the eye test, right? I'm going to say it again now. This whole fear that Salah is burning out, or like you don't want to give him a huge contract because he's on the wrong side of 30. I understand that. But if any player in 2024 has proven that he's durable enough, keeps himself in good shape, and has shown that his game ages like fine cheese. I'll say fine cheese. I don't want to say wine. Anyone has shown that their game ages gracefully, it's Mo Salah. If anyone has shown that they deserve a contract post 30, Salah has done everything humanly possible to prove that he warrants it. And even if Salah in 2 years starts burning out, the next 2 years that you could continue challenging for the league while he's still at this level or close to it has to be considered worth it. For ownership, competing and winning now has to be a bigger priority than revenue, shirt sales, ticket sales, advertisements, sustainability. Winning now has to be the priority. Man City have blood on their face. They're cut, they're wounded, they're a wounded animal. They're ready to be taken over. And you're potentially going to let that slip long term because you're afraid that Salah in 2 years might burn out. Take the chance. Take the chance and fail rather than don't take the chance and never find out. That's the way I look at it. Is the league wrapped up? I don't want to say it's wrapped up yet because there's a lot of football to be played. And I don't want to completely discount Arsenal. But the league is wrapped up for Arsenal, for City. Make no mistake about that. The league for City is done. Pep, regroup in the summer. Force ownership to invest heavy money into this squad because they are miles off it at the moment, even when Rodri comes back. But as for Liverpool, the train keeps going, man. The train keeps going.